Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how narcissists do not care about the truth. Narcissists do not care about the truth. One thing that I've learned, and I think this is why a lot of my personality has changed as I gotten older and I've went through a lot of things, and I analyzed a lot of scenarios and situations I've had with narcissists, is that the truth doesn't matter to a narcissist. And at some point in my life, I always felt like I had to prove myself, or I had to prove my truth or speak my truth. And I felt like I wasn't being heard. I felt like when I spoke my truth, narcissists will invalidate my truth, or they would turn away from my truth, or make me feel like or make me feel like my truth is a lie, right? Like my truth is a lie. My experiences are lies. My emotions aren't true. They're not real, right? And you know, as an empath, you get emotional and you feel like my feelings matter. You feel like my pain, what I'm going through, the heartbreak, you feel like these things are real. They're not fucking made up in my head. So the fact that someone would try to make me feel like my emotions are made up, it's crazy. And a narcissist doesn't care about your tears, right? And when you realize that the reason that the truth didn't matter, that your emotions didn't matter, is because you were dealing with a liar. A liar doesn't care about the truth. A liar doesn't care about your tears because they know they're lying. So if someone is aware that they're lying because they're aware that the truth doesn't matter to them, so they're lying, and now you're exposing the truth and you're screaming out the truth, the liar is like, stop explaining the truth to me. It doesn't matter to me because I lied to cover up the truth, because the truth don't matter to me. That's why I lied in the first place. So the more you're expressing yourself, the more you're pleading for me to understand you, the more you're seeking for justice and equality, the more you're actually pissing me off. And now that's when you see the shift into anger, and you start to feel crazy because you're like, my emotions don't matter, but your anger is justified. So a narcissist can spit at you, they can hit you, they can verbally abuse you, and they'll make you understand that their anger is validated. They're forcing you to understand that you gave them a reason to be upset, and that whatever came out of that anger, whatever was a production of that anger, and however they express that anger, it's valid. It's a valid reason, and they don't feel bad about what they did or what they said in the midst of those moments, right? So the truth won't matter. So you cannot bring up the truth because you're going to get the reaction of someone being angry and upset with you. Not only will this person be angry and upset with you, they're mad that you expose the truth. And now, because they fear the truth, and they don't necessarily fear you, but they might fear the truth coming out to other people about what they're doing to you, they'll go and make up stories to other people so that in case they get themselves in any... Sometimes people think why the narcissist loves to lie and tell other people stories and throw you under the bus, and why they keep doing this and why they keep going back and forth with you in and out, and they feel, and it gets to the point where it might feel like they're not afraid of karma, they're not afraid of what can go wrong, putting everyone in dangerous situations with triangulating and lying and gaslighting. It's almost like they're ready to risk it all, and sometimes they're ready to risk it all over nothing, and it almost is like mind-blowing to you. And it's like, why would someone go out of their way to plant seeds in other people's heads before the big shebang, right? Like, why do all narcissists do this? And the main reason that many people don't even know why they do this is because they know that they're willing to push your buttons to the end. They know that they're willing to drag you to the end, to the end. They know that they're willing to drag you to the point of death. And when you're dealing with a narcissist that feels that way about you, that you're a punching bag in that way, to them, sharing their version of what happened to the people around them is them preparing everyone for what can go wrong. They're preparing everyone for something that can go wrong, right? So to them, it's like I'm preparing everyone because I'm very intelligent and I know what's going to happen in the future. And because I can see things coming, people are going to look at me as someone who's intelligent because I'm able to make observations where I can calculate what's going to happen in the future. And now people believe me as a truth teller and as someone with wisdom because I know what's going to happen before it happens. But the only reason the narcissist can predict these things is because they're actually the ones causing it. They're not the ones on the outside, someone who's been through life, through experiences, who's learned through these experiences, and who sees the red flags in people. This is someone who there's no truth in them. The truth don't matter to them. So they're able to lie and deceive, and it doesn't make them, they don't even think twice. They don't think of it as, don't you think that that's cunning, manipulative behavior? They might even think to themselves that they're a genius. They're like, look at me, I'm putting all this together, and if things go left or if I push certain buttons, I already have everyone enabling and on my side, right? The narcissist has to remain, the narcissist has to keep people around who believe them no matter what. And even if they don't believe them, they're going to pick their side. The narcissist needs enablers around. That's the only way that they can survive, off of people enabling their behavior. This is why anyone who tells the narcissist the truth, anyone who can see through the narcissist and give them advice on how to be a good person or how not, or tell them when they're wrong, The narcissist does not like you. If you are someone who sees the lie in the narcissist and you tell them the truth, the narcissist might act like they appreciate you being honest with them, or they might even act like they needed to hear that truth. But that's the moment that you lost them. They look at it like, oh, I can't get close to this person because we're not the same. They're not going to allow me to be myself. They're not going to allow me to tell lies to them. They're going to ask too many questions when I share things with them. They're going to start asking too many. They're going to want to know details. And even when I tell those details, they're going to want to know smaller details to the details that I share. So to them, it's like they feel like you're going to want to decipher every little thing and make your own judgment based on your observation on the details that they share with you. So to them, it's like, I don't want to be around you because you think you're better. You're trying to judge me. I know that you're trying to judge me, but I don't really care. I know that you think I'm a liar and you can see through me, and now you know I'm a liar. And the narcissist can say that they don't care because they have this attitude like when they get caught, they're kind of like, I don't really care, but they do care. They do care because they do feel that shame of being exposed, like, oh, I got caught. You know that feeling that is like, oh, I got caught. They have that, oh, I got caught feeling. But then they'll find a way to act like it never happened to justify it. So it's like, it's like they'll share what happened with someone, and that person could say, oh man, you should have never done that. And the narcissist can say, yeah, you're right, I should have never done that. I feel stupid for doing that. And that person's like, oh man, things happen, like, don't beat yourself up over it, just let it go, right? Just let it go. And that's all the narcissist needed to hear to get that narcissistic supply, because it's like you're calling them out for the bad behavior, but then you're also trying to baby them like, oh, it just move, things happen. But people don't think about the person that the narcissist did these things to. So when that person is going through it, and now they're expressing what the narcissist did to them, people will also have that mentality where, like, it's kind of like, oh, it happened, like, let it go, like, stop talking about it, like, move on, like, like that person didn't care about you, so your emotions weren't even real. Your emotions don't matter. Even though you say you're sad, you shouldn't be sad because this person, what are you sad about? You're sad because you feel like you lost something. How can you lose something you never even had? If you never even had them, then your emotions technically don't even really matter. Your emotions aren't even real because their emotions weren't real. So what about betrayal? What about shame? What about boundaries that were crossed? What about the value of who you are as a person, or your body, or your spirituality, and the things that you feel a narcissist strips you from when you're with them, because the truth don't matter. They can act like it never existed, And if they act like it never existed, it's almost like your truth is dismissed. So you feel like your truth is dismissed by someone who feels like the truth doesn't matter. Yet you have to live with your truth. To them, it's not the truth because it was always a lie. To you, it's your truth because it's your reality. And you have to suffer the consequences of the choices that you make. So the narcissist doesn't care about your truth. They don't care about the consequences for being deceived by someone like them. They know that others won't care. The only person that can defend you from you is yourself. This is why the truth never mattered to the narcissist, and this is why a lot of times they create lies about you to other people. They accuse you of cheating or lying and all the things that they are. When I started to personally see, like, I think part of being an empath is that for a long time you don't see these things. Like, you don't see that the truth don't matter to the narcissist. You don't see that they will blatantly make up a lie, and then when you try to call them out on that lie, they'll act like, I'm not the one who started that rumor. I'm not the one who started that. Oh, or they'll act very indifferent to what's going on. They'll act like that person that's like, I'm not picking any sides. I don't really know. And you don't know that they're the ones adding fuel to the fire behind closed doors the whole time because they act like they're indifferent. For a long time growing up, I always knew that the truth never mattered. It only mattered when it was convenient for these people. If I spoke my truth or if I called out an adult's nasty behavior, right? Like for example, I had an aunt married to my uncle, which he's only my uncle by marriage, not by blood. And I remember him asking me a very inappropriate question, and he was like, I was like very young. I was maybe like 10. I wasn't even in middle school yet, so I must have been like 10, 11. And he was like, are you still a virgin? Like, he just flat out asked me that question. Everyone's in the kitchen. I'm alone with him in the living room. And he just blatantly asked me that question. And I remember answering him the question. And then I ran into the bathroom and I like sat in the bathroom. And I was like, why did he ask me that question? Maybe I should go tell everyone what he just told me. And I was kind of like in the bathroom just going through different thoughts. And then I was almost kind of feeling like if I say something, they might not believe me. And I also felt like they might not believe me because I felt like every time I told the truth, it never mattered. So I was caught in this weird thing where I was like, an adult just said some crazy shit to me. Why would they say something like that? But at the same time, I'm also thinking, well, they're an adult and I'm a kid. So in my mind, it was also kind of like I think when I was younger, I looked at adults as adults are always right. Or what adults do is always right. You know, like I had this mentality like, if they say it's wrong, then it's wrong. If they say it's right, then it's right. Whatever an adult says, they're correct. So to me, it was like, how can I go tattletale on a adult, right? It was like tattletelling on a adult, you know? So I was just caught off guard. I knew it was wrong, but I was just kind of like processing it and also like uncomfortable, but I didn't want to say anything. And it was just this weird thing, right? And then I had another experience where I had went to go spend the night at this aunt's house, and I was sleeping on the couch, and I felt like someone was watching me, and I woke up, but I didn't open my eyes, and I could just hear the breathing. And when I start hearing the footsteps walk off, I look up, and it was my uncle. And I remember going to tell my grandmother, and I was like, oh, my uncle was staring at me while I was sleeping, and she was like, stay in the room here with me, like, don't, for now on, don't go sleeping in the living room or whatever, because I was out visiting my aunt for a holiday or something. I don't remember if it was a holiday or an event, but so I started to and those were the only two things that happened with this uncle. It was nothing that went further, or any type of molestation or anything like that. But those were like two events that happened. But I ended up calling out that behavior, and people, and it was kind of funny to me too, because it wasn't just me who had an issue with this uncle. Even his own son had a problem with him when he was watching like adult film movies, because the master bedroom door wouldn't lock. So when his son would go to work, he would go into the room and like lock the door and watch like adult movies. And I guess the son caught his dad, or saw something on his bed sheets, like sperm, like dried up sperm, or some crazy shit. So he called out this my uncle, which is his father. He called him out and was like, don't go to my room, don't be in my room when I'm not home, even when I'm at work. And he got into it with his mother, which is my aunt. And it's like the truth didn't matter to her. This uncle was also trying to get with flirt with one of her sisters behind her back. The truth didn't matter. She hired a nanny to take care of their daughter while she was at work, and while he was he had a part-time job. And then a lot of times there was periods of times where he didn't have a job, and he was basically the stay-at-home dad. But everything she did was to keep that ring on her finger, to keep telling the world that she's married, right? To keep her family together. So now this nanny you hired to live in with you, now they're acting like a little family while you're at work. When you find out that he hit on your sister, he hit you had property that you were renting out, and he was messing with one of your tenants, and he was giving her money, and you started a business, and you couldn't run the business because you had work. So you had him run the business. And while he's running the business, he's tricking off the money on on women. And your son is telling you he's doing all this weird shit. Then to top it off, now your son stops talking to you, moves out, don't fuck with you, because you don't put his dad in his place. And then to top it off, I have memories, right, of when I was younger and my aunt coming over for the weekend, and like all her daughters going into the bathroom and everyone's taking a shower together, and she telling me to join in because, I don't know, maybe not to waste water. I don't fucking know. But she made it seem like it was so normal. And I had that one memory of her, my childhood, of her big ass titties and taking a shower with her. So, her youngest daughter was like 12 years old, still taking showers with her and still sleeping in the same bed with her. It took her till she was like in high school, like 10th grade, to stop doing that shit. And people would get on her about like taking showers. She's too old to be taking showers with you. It was other people in the families like, why are you? And she would make it seem like it was all about saving water and things like that. And I don't think it was anything sexual. She didn't do nothing sexual with me, but it was maybe in her mind, in her animalistic mind, she saw it as not a big deal, right? So there's all these people that got all these stories, all these things that they went through with this uncle, and then these are the things that I can collect when it comes to this aunt, where the truth didn't matter. When people are telling her it's not right, your daughter's too old to be, still bathing with you, the truth just never matters. You're opening up businesses, you're going bankrupt, your husband's blowing off the money, gambling the money, giving it away to hookers. When I call out this uncle watching me in my sleep, making me feel uncomfortable, asking me weird ass questions, the truth never mattered. The truth didn't matter. And sometimes we take it personal, right? I used to take certain things personal until I started seeing that these narcissists, they do it to their own kids. They even do it to their own kids. So you realize it's not like they're just doing it to me. But a narcissist is a very hateful person, very jealous, very envious. This aunt as well, I have told you guys, when I got my first job, I've shared this story before, but when I got my first job, I had a lady that worked across the street at a bank, and she would come in and she was like, oh, come apply, I'm hiring, and I always see you here working really hard, and out of all the people that work here, you're always like, you always give me good customer service, and you're always really fast with money. And she's like, I really think you should come apply. So I remember telling her I have family in the banking business, and who are district managers and run different branches. And she basically was like, oh, what's your aunt's name? I tell her. Then I tell my aunt later on, I'm like, oh, this lady that works across the street, she wants me to come apply. And my aunt starts giving me this speech. And she's like, oh, if I was you, I wouldn't apply because, I don't think they're going to give you the job, because I wouldn't hire you because you went and got a tattoo. Because at the time I had just turned 18 and I was like, oh, I want to get my first tattoo. I'm fucking grown. You know how delusional teenagers can be. And I was very delusional, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get a tattoo. And because of this, it was looked down upon on my family because, piercings and all that's off limits, basically. And she basically tried to bring the tattoo thing up and try to twist that into the job opportunity. And what's so crazy is that years, I don't fuck with her like that, because when I look back at my childhood, I think back at all the shit these adults did and said to me. And me as an adult, I just don't see myself doing and behaving the way these adults did. The way the truth never mattered to them. If I was married to a pervert and he was just saying pervert shit to my niece, which is not even his, it's only his niece through through our marriage, and you're saying weird shit, and you're flirting with my sister, and saying pervert shit, and you can't even run a business because you're tricking it off, and you don't even have a job, and I gotta hire a nanny because you can't even be a stay-at-home dad without the fucking help, so I gotta get a stay-at-home nanny, and then you're cheating on me with the nanny, and then I'm just sitting here going through life like this shit isn't happening because it's not convenient for me, because I'm thinking to myself, well, if I get rid of my husband, that even though he's a pervert and he really don't deserve my hard work and my lifestyle because he ain't shit, but I need him because who else is going to watch all these kids I had? Because I had a lot of kids because I wanted to compete with my siblings as the golden child, and wanted to mimic what my parents had, even though this man I'm with is nothing like my grandfather, with nothing like my father. Nothing. My father wasn't a pervert, a liar, a cheater. He was a family man, a hard worker. This man is the opposite, but I want him to imitate that, because I put a ring on my finger and I want to imitate what my parents had, and I have something to prove. So even if my own son is telling me that his father is crossing the line, coming in his room when he's not there doing weird shit, I'm never going to leave him. I'm never, because I'm so religious. And while at it, right, it's not like you're dealing with a humble. You're not dealing, and while you're at it, right, the narcissistic parent is giving this person praise. They're giving this person praise, and they're like, oh, my poor daughter. She's such a humble person. She's such a good person. Even though, shit is always happening to her, she still is a strong woman and cares about her. The sacrifices she does is for her children. So how can I compete with someone who is being enabled to believe that the truth don't matter? Someone who is being enabled by a lineage of narcissists who the truth don't matter. And then not only are they considered the victims of they see themselves as victims, right? But now they're taking part in abusing others. So the same people that claim they're being abused, they're taking part in abusing others. This lady's abusing me as a kid, telling me what I can't do, but telling her daughter what she can do. So if you know it's wrong to do that to a kid, and you wouldn't want someone doing that to your kid, why would you do it to someone else's kid, right? So that's when I started to see that the truth don't matter to the narcissist only when it got something to do with them or their children or their family, and they feel like getting offended. And I learned that at a very young age, that the truth didn't matter. That's why I believe that a lot of times when I was going through traumatic situations, I never really shared stuff with everyone, or I kept a lot of stuff to myself. And I think it was because it was like, when I tell the truth, it seems like people don't empathize with me. If anything, I get in trouble, or I'm being treated like I'm stupid, when in actuality, as a child and as a kid, the only way to learn is the hard way. If you make bad choices, and then if you make those bad choices, is to have someone, give you advice and know how to do it the right way. But when you got narcissists, it's like, they don't like when people call out what's going on in their life. So they like to focus on other people. So when you go through something, they'll focus on you and try to villainize you, instead of looking at you as a kid and as someone and give you advice as an adult, right? But instead, You're being attacked by adults who are supposed to have compassion, empathy, and patience, but they don't. They have no patience because they got shit going on in their own life, and it's not an excuse, but that's the excuse they use. And I know it's not an excuse because my problems cannot possibly determine how I treat a child, and whether that child is making good or bad choices. I'm going to link those things as they're making bad choices because of the influences around them, because they're only a child, so there must be some type of influence. But no, narcissists will treat you like you're the pervert, you're the one who's the psychotic one, and you're not even fully developed. They're projecting the shit that's going on around them in their life, and projecting the type of people, and even sometimes even having jealousy because they look at you like you have something that they don't have anymore. Sometimes they even see you as a threat. Sometimes they see you as, being youthful, and they're like looking at you like you could be one of the women that my husband cheats on me with. They don't even see you as family anymore. Because the truth no longer matters to them. You being their niece, nephew, relative, the truth don't matter to them no more. They ignored the truth within their own lives. They ignored the truth about their own husband, that they're so used to the lie that they think this is how it's like they don't see anything different. They're so used to the lies. They're so comfortable with the lies, where bad and good no longer means anything to them. So if someone is doing bad, you no longer see them as a bad person, because when they're behaving good, you feel like, oh, this is who they really are, the good person, but you're ignoring all of the bad. Or you're ignoring all of the bad to the point where you're like, oh, all the bad, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Because the truth stopped mattering, because you didn't do nothing about the bad. You didn't do nothing about the truth. You didn't try to make things better. You didn't try to equalize. You didn't try to get rid of the parasite. So the parasite is just there growing and growing. And now you have that parasite. Now you're parasitic. Now you feel like you've been defending that parasite for so long. Now you're acting like the parasite. The difference is that you're defending the parasite. You're helping that parasite spread everywhere. And now, because you've became that parasite yourself, you feel like I can spread my parasitic behavior. The difference is that you don't got nobody there to defend your parasitic behavior in the same way that you're defending your husband's parasitic behavior. So guess what? When you go out there to your job with that parasitic behavior and thinking that you can steal on company's time and do weird shit, and you think, oh, no one's going to catch me. My husband, I've seen people steal and get away and do shit. I could do it too. And then you get caught. And then when you get caught, because you feel like you've been suffering more than ever, you feel like, oh, I've taken a lot of shit. Everything I've done it for my family. And now I've gotten caught with stealing. It's not my fault. It was my last result. I felt like I had to. I did it for my family. So it shouldn't be illegal. It shouldn't be illegal because I did it for my family. I did it so they can have a better life. I did it so that we can have a better life. But you did something illegal, ma'am. You stole. You trespassed. You went and did shit when you weren't even on company's time. You were doing shit you weren't supposed to do. And then I think back like, wow, this lady gets fired for theft. She should have really went to jail, but for some reason they didn't put her in jail. It was like we it was almost like we're just going to fire you cuz we don't have enough proof, or we just we have a good relationship with you and we didn't think you were a thief. And we're friends. We've been to each other's homes. We've been to each other's parties. The narcissist has already made themselves, they've locked themselves in with people so closely so that when they finally get caught with their lie, when the truth finally comes out, this is why when they're in a relationship, they're telling other people other stories. They're love bombing other people because they know you're gonna spaz out and they're gonna need people to be on their side. So the narcissist has been bringing in donuts and coffee to everyone at work, inviting them over to parties, into their life, into their family life, making them feel like a family, like a cult. So so they didn't do all these things because they're nice people, good people, and a good boss. Because she even said to me, oh, it's better to be nice to people. You can get more out of people by being nice to them. I always remember her saying that to me. And I would think to myself, when she said that weird shit, I would think to myself, like, when I'm nice to people, I'm just nice to them because why am I going to be mean to them for? I was just thinking that. And then I also was thinking, like, why would I be nice to people to get something out of them? Like, I don't want shit from them, you know? So when she said that, and I thought about how she told me what I couldn't do, how they wouldn't give me that job when I was younger, and she said that to me, yet she went and got her daughter a job working at a different bank for a customer service rep, and then she got her other daughter a job as well. So I thought it was weird that she said that to me, just for me to witness her getting fired and her daughter getting fired, because if you got one thief in the family, we can't trust the daughter either. So you and your daughter both got fired. And for you to be some racist people to say that to me as the only biracial girl in the family. I have biracial cousins and siblings, but I'm the only girl. So for her to say that, I would tell myself, why would she say that to me? And I'm like, as I got older, I'm like, well, maybe she's racist. That's why she said that to me. So as hardworking as you claim you are, and you steady trying to compare your grown ass to me when I was born in this country, right? And you got all these negative stereotypes, but for you to try to belittle me like that in a way that you wouldn't want someone to do to your kids, and for you to get fired for theft and you didn't even go to jail, it goes to show the state of this country, and it also goes to show the narcissism in people, because even though you got fired, you knew, because she said to me, it's better to be nice to people. You can get a lot out of being nice to people. I remember going to the DMV and she using something as a gift to get a discount, to not pay like a registration fee or something. She said, oh, you got to get it as a gift. Oh, you guys. And then she was really nice and jolly. And when she left, her face changed and she's like, this is how you get stuff done. Right. So I would think to myself, the truth don't matter to this person. If I bring up what she did and what she said to me, and I'm like, well, maybe that's your karma. That's why you got fired. She'll act like, to this day, she'll tell people she retired. She don't tell people she was fired. She'll say, I retired. And then on top of that, there's this like thing where the truth don't matter. So once the narcissist says I retired, all the narcissists around them, other family members, they go along with the script. Like they'll tell people, oh, she retired. They won't stop. They won't say, nah, she's lying. She didn't retire. She was fired. They don't tell the truth. The truth don't matter to narcissistic people. They click together for the truth. They click together to run from the truth, I mean. So instead of her going to jail, I'm thinking, why didn't she go to jail for all this shit she did? Anybody else, they would have had the police up there waiting for them the next day when they came to work. And I was like, wow, they let her go, but because they're all from the same race of people. They're all from the same race. And they stick together. They claim they so hardworking, but they're narcissists. The truth don't matter to them. History don't matter to them. None of that shit matters to them. The games they play don't matter to them. And at the time, I didn't see how fucking crooked it was until I had to experience it for myself in the workforce with narcissists, because I was very young at that time. So now when I look back, I'm like, wow, so they didn't put her in jail because they were friends. Because even though everything caught up with her and somebody got a hold of what was going on and they had to make a choice, the choice wasn't for everyone else to make. It was for that person to make. But they all had a connection to her because they were coming over to holiday parties that she was hosting. You know, they weren't just employees. They became like family to her. But she never did it with the intention of seeing them as actual family, even though she treated them like family and she's bringing donuts and making them feel like we're the same. This is why narcissists control the workforce. This is why they only hire people that look like them, because she even admitted this to me. So right there, she was showing me I wouldn't hire you. And in my head, she was making it about the tattoo, but that wasn't really what it was about. Now I realize it was because you didn't have that same mentality for your daughters. You only had it when it came to me. Why? Because I'm biracial. So now when I go in the workforce, now I understand what I didn't understand once. I didn't understand these things because I never saw color. I didn't understand that people saw my color. So you get fired when you really should have went to jail. When you should have went to jail. And it's all because you killed all of these people with kindness. You didn't see them as family. You didn't see them as, oh, this is like family. You saw them as people you can control because they're stupid. That's how you saw them. I control these people because they're stupid and they really believe that I care about them. They really believe this friendship. They see me as a mother. When they see me as a mother. They see me as their mother. They respect me as their mother. And I saw that energy in her the whole time. Like I was seeing it. And it's crazy to me because these are the people that run the work environment. They look at their employees like their army. Their army ready to do whatever they want for them, ready to fight, ready to go hard for them, ready to do whatever sneaky shit that they tell them to do or say and play mind games. And and a lot of times you go into these spaces and people are fucking with you and you're thinking this person is fucking with you for no reason. And you don't know that the boss sent that person to fuck with you on purpose because the boss is a narcissist, racist bitch. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And what's so crazy about it is that when I would share to this side of my family what was happening to me, right, in the workplace, they would say, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. Well, how are you treating those people? Are you smiling? Are you being nice? It was like, oh, here we go again. I don't want to hear this. Oh, maybe you did something. Like this dismissive type of energy, like the truth didn't matter. And it was almost like they knew that I wasn't lying, but they just didn't want to hear it. They knew I wasn't lying because they're one of them. They're exactly like them. I wasn't aware of it. They're exactly like them, and that's why they didn't want to hear it. And then they will say, "Oh, I'm not racist. Oh, I'm not this. That's just something you guys always say." So I started to see it. If my own family can act like this, I'm like, imagine strangers. They don't even know. They don't even know. They don't even know my culture. They don't know shit about me. They're just looking at me, and the truth don't matter to them. My truth, my reality, my culture, my experiences, how I view the world, that shit don't matter to them. What matters to them is how they view the world, how they see things, their experiences, if they're being affected by it or not. So I started to see, wow, the truth don't matter. And the crazy part is they'll all get together to try to target you. And they do it over and over again. And they've done it to so many people. And nobody ever speaks up for you. But they know it's happening to you. But they don't speak up for you. And they see this pattern going on and on and on and on. And then they'll sit here and talk about how fatigued they are as if they're the ones being fucked with. And I realized that in my journey of learning about narcissism and the wisdom that I've gotten from family, from friendships, from work environments, all the data that I've collected from the world, I've came to the conclusion that the truth don't matter to narcissist people. So yeah, they can come and seem like humble people, hardworking. They can seem like that. But that's really, you don't know what's really going on with those people. I've seen incest. I've seen cousins marry one another. And what's crazy is that every time something is happening to me, right? Everyone in the family made a big deal, never was on my side, always found ways to villainize me. But now, two cousins getting together, marrying, having children, shit that you question, they'll keep a secret and act like it didn't happen. And if you bring it up, they'll target you for bringing up the truth. So if they're attacking you and you're like, well, bitch, your daughter married her cousin. Why you got so much shit to say about me? How about we bring up some shit about you? Now they don't like you. They don't want you around. The truth don't matter to them because at the end of the day, they just don't like you because, at least in my experience, I realized the truth didn't matter because they just didn't like me because I was mixed. They just didn't like that, period. So the truth, who I am as a person don't really matter. My kindness, my empathy, none of that matters because they already got their mind made up. And really they're angry with my parent for doing what they did. And they don't even see me as a human being. They don't see me as one of them. And it took me a long time to understand that because I loved them. I didn't see color. I didn't see, when you're a kid, you don't see these things. So I never saw these things. I never saw myself as being different, less than, or any of that. And if anything, I felt like a lot of you aren't even from this country. So really, how can you feel like you're better than me when I speak English and I this is my culture, my generation. So I thought it was weird when I felt like, hey, how can you act weird with me when you came from nothing, and the other side of my family, they've been here. There's doctors, teachers, lawyers, but you're trying to act like they ain't shit for the color of their skin. They've been here getting college degrees while my grandmother didn't even finish first, second, third grade. So to me, it was weird how people could feel so entitled and so superior, and even superior to me, while they're stealing social security numbers and acting like, oh, they act like it's not a big deal. We go to work every day. We're hardworking. Yeah, but you're working on someone's social security number that you stole. And now when they're coming to get you at your job to arrest you for unpaid child support, and you're telling them, hey, I actually lied about my name. That's not even my name. I don't owe child support because I stole the identity of someone. And now, instead of taking you to jail, all they did was fire you. And I'm like, all they did was fire them? So they didn't take them even though they know they're an illegal? They just fired them? But it's a crime that they stole someone's social. So the fact that they just let them go and just fired them, and then after that, they went and got their paperwork. They became citizens. And then it was like, it was like, I'm not a bad person. I go to work. I'm a family person. But when you tell them the truth and you're like, you stole someone's identity, you should really actually be in jail. Like, I'm surprised they even just fired you and just let you go. Like, anyone else would have went to jail. When you tell them the truth, it pisses them off. But when you get attacked by the police, and the police don't see you, all they see is color, and they put you in jail, and they don't care about the truth, because it's happened to me. And you're being falsely accused, or you're going through a domestic violence situation, and they're picking the other person's side because they look at you and they look at the other person. They're like, it gotta be you. It gotta be you. People like you are aggressive. Your partner, he's one of us. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of scenario situations and realities that people go through. And when I went through that, and I'm like, wow, I really didn't do shit, and I could sit here and get in trouble for some shit, and you got people really do shit, and it don't matter, and it don't matter because the people that are catching them doing the shit are also narcissists, and there's no truth in them either. So a lot of times you'll see that narcissists defend other narcissists or side with other narcissists because they look at you as a truth teller. It's someone who, you're not one of us. Because if you were one of us, you wouldn't be a truth teller. You would be a liar. You would do anything to stay on top. You would pretend to be a good person. You would defend people, not because you care about them, but because you're trying to hide behind them, because you're trying to protect yourself when it all comes down to it. So then you see a lot of people, a lot of narcissists in society, they don't really give a fuck about the truth. They don't care about your truth, what your people went through. They don't care about your truth, what your people are going through. They're hiding behind the truth to protect themselves. So they're acting like they actually care when they really don't. because the truth don't really matter to them, because the truth is actually not even convenient for them, because if the truth mattered, then everyone would gain up on them. So to them it's like, oh no, I'ma act like I give a fuck about your truth and hide behind your truth and make you feel good about what your struggles. They like to catch people. They like to prey off of people's trauma. They like to hide behind people when people are going through shit. The truth don't matter to the narcissist. Even when a narcissist has everything to be happy, they have no peace. Someone who the truth don't matter to them, they have no peace. You know that? When the truth don't matter to someone, they have no peace. Because if you have truth in you, the truth feels good even when things aren't going your way. Even when things aren't going your way, or even when things are falling apart, you'd rather know the truth. The truth feels good. You find peace in the truth. When you're with a narcissist and you're going through the motions and the ups and downs and confusion and the gaslighting and the wanting to hold on to what you think it should be, you never have peace. When they're gone, even though it hurts, even though you got to come and take some harsh truths, you still find more peace than having someone making your life a living hell, and you don't understand why they're doing it, or why they're one way 1 minute and another way another minute. And when you got the author of confusion around, you never have peace. And because there's no truth in the narcissist, they never have no peace. So that means that when a narcissist has everything, right? You might feel like, oh, the narcissist got everything and they're still fucking with me. They're still miserable. They got everything. They got more than me, and they still trying to take the little shit I got. They got more than me. Or you feel like what you got is not even a lot and they're jealous of you. They feel like what you do got, you shouldn't even have. That comes from someone who has no peace, who has no truth in them. When people are jealous of you for no reason, when people are pocket watching, when people don't want you to succeed unless they're succeeding, or they feel like if you can do it, they can do it too, because they see it as, I'm better than you. I look better than you. So if you could do it, I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? So people who think like that, they have no peace. People who they feel like they need to say something to you, even though you don't know them. They feel like, I'm itching to say something to you. I'm itching to disrespect you. I'm itching to make you feel uncomfortable. These are people that have no peace in them, and they don't have no peace in them because they have no truth in them. And they have no truth in them because they're too busy trying to prove that others' truths isn't really. They want to prove that your truth is not your truth. They're so busy trying to prove that your truth is not your truth that they don't even care about their own truth. This is why people that don't care about the truth have no truth in them. Meaning they're liars, meaning they'll lie on you, they'll lie on anyone, they'll lie on themselves. They'll lie even when they don't have to lie. Even when they don't have to lie. There's no truth in them. When they don't have anything, and when they don't have any drama, because there's no truth in them, they have to create drama. Because there's no peace. There's no peace in a liar. A liar doesn't have any peace. So even when There's no truth. Even when there's no reason for them to lie, they'll still lie and create something. I've seen another aunt of mine who, I had an uncle. He didn't want one of my aunts in his wedding because she's married to a black man. And he told her on his wedding day, on the day that she was supposed to be one of the bridesmaids, and she ended up helping the bride with her hair and makeup. And my uncle told his own sister, I don't want you on my wedding because I don't want your husband on my wedding pictures. And my aunt never told her husband because she didn't want her husband to feel like they were being racist. But she didn't tell him. And, when you get together as a family, these people will play, the uncles will get together, play poker, play cards. Everyone is having a good time. And then there's all these secret conversations people are having, and how, and when you bring it up and you're like, hey, when you feel like you're being treated different and you're like, hey, I feel like you're a racist, and that's really what it is. They'll say, oh, I'm not a racist. I have family who are black. But they won't say that. They won't tell you the truth, and they'll use these things to, they won't expose the truth of who they are. They'll hide. They won't tell you, hey, I told this person I didn't want this person in my wedding because of this. I didn't want them in my pictures. They won't say the truth of who they really are. And the truth don't matter to them. So to them, it's like, even if I tell you the truth, it's not going to change anything. So what's the point on telling you the truth about how I really feel about you? It's not going to change anything. So when they finally do shady shit at the end, like certain family members end up taking the family inheritance, when they start doing stuff like that, the truth no longer, they're going to show you that the truth never mattered to them. Every time you told them, I feel like you treat me different. I feel like it's something like deeper because I didn't do anything to you. I think you're a racist. I think you got a problem with me because of this. They'll deny all these things. But in the end, when they take the inheritance, everything you ever knew about them, it was true. It was never in your head. And you realize, oh, they don't care about the truth. The truth don't matter to them. They just hide behind the truth until they're able to reveal themselves. When they finally, they always reveal themselves when things are either not going their way, or when they finally got everything they wanted and they feel like they don't have to play and act nice with you anymore because they finally got what they wanted, what they were after the whole time. And they always felt like they deserved it more than you because they never saw you as an equal. And you realize, wow, I always knew it, but you always tried to deny my truth and you tried to make it seem like that's not what it was. So when I go out into society and I realize that a lot of people don't care about my truth and they jump into conclusions, or they stereotype me as being this or living on Section 8, or they stereotype me with all these things, even though I'm a homeowner. And I realize, wow, people try to project their shit on me every fucking day. And the moment I say something about it, people try to villainize it as if it's all in my head, but I know it's not. Because it's not just a societal thing that I went through. I went through it personal, up close and personal with my own family. And when I go out in society and people are playing those same games my family played with me, and they're like, it's all in your head. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. We don't even think about you. We don't even talk bad about you. It's all in your head. But I've seen it happen up and close and personal. And I've even had family members that told me at a young age to stay away from certain people, even though I'm that person, or people telling me don't have children with this so if I hear all these conversations up and close with people that I'm close to being bold to tell me these things, and now I got a whole bunch of strangers telling me that that's not how they think, that's not how they talk, they don't talk about that, I know you're lying to me. I know you're gaslighting me. So not only do you deal with narcissism in families, and it's not like these, and the crazy part about these type of people, right? They're not just like, what I've learned is that the truth don't matter to them. And I can say that all people are just like them, but they're not. I can say everyone's like this. Yes, it's a lot of them. Just like we know it's more narcissists than empaths. So you have to be aware it's more of them that think like this. It's more of them that have fucked up ways of thinking, right? Who are confused, who are brainwashed. There's some that they might not be narcissists, but they're brainwashed. So they act like them. And at some point, they're going to have to make a choice. And most of them are going to make a choice that's convenient for them. So they'll say that they're not, but it's out of convenience. So they can say, I'm not, but they know that they have some type of privilege. They're aware of it. And what makes it sick is when someone actually believes in that fake privilege. Because in my head, you're not better than me. In my existence, no, I don't feel like anyone. I'm not. You know why I don't feel like anyone is better than me? Because I'm not competing with anyone. Because I actually love myself when I look in the mirror. I love all the different. I love how different I am. I love that I have culture. Even though you don't see the culture in me, even though you don't accept me in my own culture, I still have it. I still carry it. So to me, I love myself. I love myself. I love the things that I stand for. I love the pieces of me that I got from you, even though you hate me. So to me, what I realize with narcissists is that the truth don't matter to them. And especially when it's not convenient for them to even give a fuck, right? And what I also learned about these type of people, right, is that they didn't just do it to me. They did it to their own children, because they're sick people. Narcissists are very sick people. There's no truth in them. So you think to yourself, oh, these people just get to lie on me and they get to be happy with their families and take the inheritance, and they want to see me dead in jail on the street. They want my life to be shit while they take everything, and sitting here acting like fucking terrorists and settlers and shit. And what I realize is they're not just doing it to me, they're doing it. That narcissism that they have, which is basically hate, jealousy, low vibrational. You can think they're better off, they're happier. Oh, look at them, they're with their family. That behavior doesn't just disappear. That behavior is not just like that type of hate that they direct at you. Someone with that type of hate, they're not just going to be hateful towards you. Yes, you could be someone that they feel like, I'm going to dismiss you right away just because of this, right? But You have to think of a narcissist. If a narcissist could be sick enough to get into a relationship with you while not liking you, while hating you, so can these type of people. They can act like they like you, like they don't have a problem with you, but deep down they don't like you. They don't want you to succeed. They think they're better than you, right? So that same type of narcissistic behavior that you get in a relationship with a narcissist is the same type of behavior that you're going to find in someone who discriminates against others. That same energy, right? So a narcissist can say, oh, I'm going to go treat others better, right? I'm going to go treat others better. And you're seeing them treating others better. Like they didn't just dog walk you. Like they didn't just have you go through a whole bunch of shit, right? Someone who discriminates can do the same thing. They can try to sabotage you, get you fired from work. And you can look on the outside looking in and you're like, they're still working there. They're acting like nothing happened, but they're still a narcissist. So you know that narcissistic behavior, the fact that they could do that to a stranger, you have to think about it. They could do it to a stranger. They can do it to someone close to them because there's no truth in them. That's where people fuck up at. People like this have no truth in them. So they could pretend to be good people, but those narcissistic traits, once they take, what happens when a narcissist takes you out of their orb? They move on to the next target, right? So if they hate you just for that reason, you think, oh, now they all get to work together and be happy and I'm not there to be the target, right? No, that's not how it works. Now the narcissist has to move on to someone else, even if that person looks like them. So this is why a narcissist will be like, oh, I don't discriminate. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just a narcissist. You get it? So the problem is that in every community, this behavior, the truth don't matter to none of them. That's why it's so many of them. And that's why you feel like you get attacked more than anyone else. So it's like you're going through narcissism, but on a whole nother level that most people don't even understand, to the point where when you speak about it, people are like, oh, here you go, try to be the victim. Here you go. So it gets to the point where you don't feel like you need to talk about these things with people. And it also gets to the point where you're like, the truth don't matter to people. A lot of people defend narcissists and they know the narcissist is full of shit, but they rather be on their team. So it don't matter. So it gets to the point where as an empath, you realize you're not here to save everyone. You're not here to save everyone. And a lot of people, you can save them and they're not going to repay you back for saving them. They're going to use your tools to benefit them. But then they're going to keep carrying those narcissistic traits. They just used you when it was, that's why I said the truth don't matter to a narcissist. Most narcissists they go searching for people to make them feel good for the things that they do or to fill in that void. So yeah, people can come to you to listen to you, but they just want to fill in that void. Once that void is filled and they feel like they have life figured out again, they're like, oh, okay, I just needed to fill that void. Now I feel like I got life figured out. And this time I'm going to do it my way. And they might even feel like the truth don't matter to other people. So why should the truth matter to me? And now they try to carry on that narcissistic behavior as well. Now they start carrying some of those traits as well. And they feel like, but I'm not like the narcissist that did what they did to me. It's just a different type of, it's just me putting me first. I got to be selfish and put me first for once, right? But they take it too far. They start taking it too far. They stop caring about the truth. They stop caring about the truth. They feel like people use me for their entertainment. I can use others for my entertainment too. Because it's not my fault they're allowing me to use them for my entertainment. It's their fault. So then you get people that start feeling comfortable using their privileges and using their feminism and using their masculinity and using their following or using their enablers to put out garbage bullshit and feel like, oh, I got so many enablers, they're going to side with me because they also think like me. And I know that I'm going to piss off other people who don't think like me. So the truth don't matter to the narcissist because they like it when people argue and debate. They like it when there's like someone else trying to defend the narrative that they put out and trying to prove them wrong. Narcissists love fighting. They love debating. So once you realize the truth don't matter to the narcissist, they really just want to argue, debate, feel like they're more intelligent than you. Then what happens when you realize that? You realize that the only truth that matters is your truth and your reality and your experiences. And the fact that you don't know everything. You have to go through certain things to learn, to grow, right? You realize you cannot just go out and believe people's truths. People can tell you anything. And maybe once upon a time, you believed them. They said something to you, you believed them. The truth don't matter to a narcissist because when when you say your truth to a narcissist, they think you're lying. You used to believe everything people say. Now, it's not that you think people are lying. You just don't know anymore. So you understand that concept that a narcissist doesn't believe everyone because there's no truth in them. So how can there be truth in others? Right? This is why when you tell the truth, they're steady trying to prove that you're the liar, that you're the cheater, they're steady trying to prove that you're everything they are. And in the end, they'll make it seem like you're the horrible person. Because the truth don't matter to a narcissist. So when you realize that how delusional these people can be, where the truth don't matter to them, it's all just a way to bait you into conversation, bait you into having a false connection. Then now you're aware that, hey, when I come across people, their truth, their perspective, it shouldn't matter to me. I can hear them out. It don't mean I got to believe them. Their truth don't got to be my truth because it might not be my reality. You know, now you're more cautious about others and their truth, or when they're coming to you as victims, because we're sitting there investing all of our time, our energy into these people, and they act like they respect your honesty and they respect your advice. And then once you help them heal, because there's no truth in them, they'll always have drama or something that they make up. And now when you're like, hey, it seems like you don't like having peace and you're just trying to look for reasons not to have peace or to focus on others. Now when you're seeing that there's no truth in them and you're like, hey, I tried to give you the truth and you seem like you understood the truth, but now I understand you only used me because you wanted me to make you feel good. And now that you feel good or feel better, you've returned to your ways again because there's no truth in you. You're going to keep continuing being on this never-ending cycle. So you realize I can't be around this type of person because I'll be lying to myself by being around a liar. I'll lie to myself because I can no longer I can no longer know if this person is a truth teller, if anything they say is true. I mean, if I can no longer I've already they have already showed me there's no truth in them. So by being around them, there'll be no truth in me. Nothing true or good can come from this. When there's no truth in someone and they're a liar and they're trying to sacrifice you, that they're showing you that there's no good in them. Nothing good can come from being around them. When you see this type of behavior, nothing good can come around being around this person. So this is why when you see narcissists move on, you don't even care. You get to a point where you don't care because you know, hey, ain't no truth in this person. And if there's no truth in this person, there can't be no good around them. There can't be really long periods of peace because there's no good, there's no peace in that person. So most people you're gonna come across, they're not gonna have any peace in them, or they might pretend like they do, or they might seem like they have peace only when they're around certain people. And when they're around those people, they have to attack other people because they want, in those periods of times when they're like in groups, that void that they feel, it feels fulfilled for a little bit because they're distracted. And while they're distracted, they're targeting people that are by themselves or people they feel like, oh, you must feel bad because I feel bad all the time. So now that I'm with other people, I'm going to project something onto you to make myself feel good because I'm on a high right now. But if that person would have been by themselves, they wouldn't have said shit to you because they wouldn't even have been bold enough to say anything to you. There's no truth in that person. That person just is showing you, even in the midst of being around people, they're showing you that they're fucking weak. They're the weakest fucking link. So, I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful. I know I went on and on and on, but I wanted to give examples because I've been around these people. I've been around narcissists who will sit there and tell me, I'm about to make up this lie about this person. And when they come in, I'm going to do this and do this to get my way. And then me looking at them shocked, like, did this person just really say I'm about to? Because you look at people and you think they're one way. And then out of nowhere, they say something crazy like, oh, I'm going to make up this lie to get my way. And they do it in a way where they think you're not going to think nothing of it. Like, it's like every narcissist gets to a point where they're going to drop their mask and show you their true colors. And most people, they're not going to say anything. They're going to keep going along with it because they're thinking of the person who this person was to them. They're thinking of the good things this person has done to them up until this point. Because chances are the narcissist has done a lot of kind things, bought you stuff, maybe cooked, did something kind. So you'll feel like, how can I repay them back by ignoring them or by going ghost when they didn't do nothing to me? Yeah, they're doing something that is not right, but they haven't done anything to me. So that's what most people do when they see that there's no truth in the narcissist. They think that the narcissist didn't do it to them, and they feel like the narcissist gets to pick and choose who they treat bad and who they treat good. And they feel like because the narcissist is treating them good, it's not gonna backfire on them. That's how they think. And then when it does happen, then that person becomes a victim and they go out seeking the victims of the narcissist, trying to connect with them, knowing damn well they was doing the same shit. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. Since my algorithm, I told you guys, is really jacked up. YouTube hates me. YouTube doesn't like me. YouTube doesn't like me telling the truth. They cut my shit. They cut off my views like long ago. Like when I started my channel, I was getting like 15, 20,000 views, and then they quickly changed my shit right away. So, and then, controversial subjects. And sometimes I say shit that pisses people off. I say shit that people are like, oh, you're trying to be the victim, or you're trying to, and I know that's that narcissism shit inside of them, because they in a sense, they feel like I say a lot of truths that they can relate to, but the moment I say something that they feel offended by, because they realize it's not their reality, they quickly flip. So they turn that light switch on, because they don't want to validate your truth. They want to act like, oh, like I'm offended by it. But people who are offended by your truth is because there's no truth in them. Your truth is disturbing their demons. And I'm telling you now, it's a lot of them. A lot of them. And it's really scary. And I really feel like it's genocide. I really feel like an endangered species. Everywhere I go, it's like big eyeballs looking at me like I'm scaring them. Like, oh, you're different. I'm not used to seeing you. It's like I'm living in a zombie apocalypse, and everywhere I go is people ready to bite me, It's and then you come across those people who are empaths, and you're like, I can't start resenting people. I can't hate people. I can't lose myself. It's like you're fighting against so many of them. And when you come across empaths, you're like, oh, I got to keep going. I can't give up. I can't fuck up. I can't fuck up and allow these narcissists to bring me down, because there's still people out there. There's still people out there. It's like The Walking Dead. There's still people out there willing to help you, willing to be there, willing to understand, willing to know what you're going through, willing to understand your struggle. There's still people there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even though it's like a zombie apocalypse, you know the truth. The truth is they're in the matrix. They're programmed. They're brainwashed. So how can I harbor hate? If I harbor that hate, I won't have peace. And that's why I have a lot of peace, even when people are treating me fucked up, or assuming shit, or making up shit, or, the negative energy that they give, it just bounces right back to them. And they can feel it. They can feel, just like they can feel when they've got you mad, and they can feel your third eye popping out. They can feel when you don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They know when you don't care. You don't care that they're trying to distort your truth, because because you feel like, hey, as long as I know the truth, I don't give a fuck how many people believe your lies. As long as I know the truth, because I got peace. You feel like I shouldn't have peace. I should feel bad because no one is on my side. But God is on my side. I got me. That's the best peace you could have. You people, you'll never feel peace. You'll always be in somebody's business. Never have peace. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.